So what we see here, the connective tissue that kind of outlines the lobule, although it's kind of like cut off right over here, but you can see the lobule, right? And this is the central vein, which is going to get blood from, this almost looks like it's got some of those, like the artery and vein in here, and so this blood will percolate through to the central vein. So you're good with that? You recognize liver, right?
Yeah.
And you should know central vein, and then this is a lobule, and to know the idea that those hepatocytes will be cleansing the blood that's traveling through them. Good. You're good with that. Okay. And let's see what else we've got. Label was handwritten because I'm so proud of this. They made it up special for us. I think I'll be easier to see this way. They used to have this slide. I said, where is it? They said, well, we don't make it anymore, but we'll make some for you. So our college has it. And it's the beauty of the slide. So this is the duodenum, and this is how you know. Right? Because what you see here starts with a V, villi, right? Okay? Villi. So, and over here, right? Loaded with villi. Increases the absorption, the surface area for absorption. Look at my hand and this kind of surface area, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, pretend my hand just ended like this. See this? It's like a tenth or something. I mean, it's a much less amount of surface areas compared to being able to do this. So you got that idea, right? Okay, and in addition, the villi have their own villi. That is the epithelial cells that make up the surface of the villus. The epithelial cells have on them microvilli, so that I could do the same demonstration, which is the plasma membrane of the epithelial cell on the villus is not flat, but instead the plasma membrane has this undulation that produces what we call microvilli, a very folded plasma membrane, and that gives you a huge increase. It's like a 600 times increase of surface area in the small intestine due to these structures. And I think it was mentioned in class on your last lecture that these microvilli have on them certain enzymes called brush border enzymes, including lactase for lactose breakdown. And if you're missing that enzyme, you're lactose intolerant. So you had a little bit about that. That was one of those brush border enzymes. That's yeah. But there's so many products out now that are for lactose intolerance that it makes life a lot easier. Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this small intestine. For one thing, we're going to look at the tissue layers. So this would be the inside, starts with an L, it's the lumen, right? Okay, it's the lumen, and then we've got the first tissue type that you encounter, starts with an M, it's the mucosa, good. And it has three components. It's got the epithelial cells, it's got the lamina propria, and then it has a border of, kind of see it? A border of muscularis mucosa, which helps kind of move the surface of the intestine as it contracts. It maybe can wave the villi around, so it allows for more movement. So all of that is mucosa. Underneath the mucosa is submucosa, a more dense connective tissue, as I said in the video. This one is a looser connective tissue in the lamina propria, the connective tissue part of the mucosa. So there's a submucosa, and in the duodenum, the submucosa has duodenal glands. which I can kind of, maybe with a higher power. From here. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't focus the same for what you see and what I see. And so here we have those duodenal glands. Looks like some mucus secreting cells too. So this is the component of the submucosa, and here's the mucosa, submucosa full of the duodenal glands, which secrete an alkaline mucus. So come to think of it, that makes sense. Okay, and then we have the muscle layers, and you can really see the difference in orientation from here and here. That this one is around, circular, and this one is longitudinal. So it's like the intestine was laid out this way, and you make a slice of it, and wait a minute, no, it's like the intestine was laid out this way, and if you make a slice of it this way, the longitudinal muscle will come out as like little dots, and the circular muscle is going to come out as the length of the cell. So that's why they have two different orientations for the two different types of muscle layers we're looking at. Okay, so this is a very nice one for the, now you can see the smooth muscle, muscularis mucosae, that separates the mucosa from the submucosa. The last thing I want to show you on the slide, I hope this works. I want to look at the villi under the next power and see if we can see microvilli. Well, the microvilli are known as a brush border. It does kind of look like a brush border in here. So I'm thinking we're seeing microvilli. And yeah, for sure. So it's the outer layer. So this is the epithelial cell, and along it are these undulations, these in and out gatherings of the plasma membrane that further increase the absorptive ability, plus house what are called brush border enzymes, of which lactase is one of them. Okay? Kind of? Okay. So that's the duodenum. And then we want to look at the other part of the small intestine, and I'm not sure which is one of our better slides, because different batches come out good, different companies. This is an older one, I think, the older one. I like this. Okay, it's good. We can't see anything here. Let's see what we can do to focus that. Aha. Okay. So now this is very different from the duodenum you just saw, because villi, so here's one. Okay, there's not a lot. Sort of, you know, it doesn't look anything like what you saw before as far as villi go. So that's one difference, and that's because by the time you get to the ileum, most everything's been absorbed, so it doesn't need it. But what we do have that we didn't have before are these areas here that are lymphatic nodules called, this is a Peyer's patch. So we're looking at Peyer's patches. And our book says they're mucosal structures that can jut into the submucosa. And when we look at it here, it looks like it certainly is jutting into the submucosa, because it's right next to the muscularis externa. So these are collections of lymphocytes and macrophages located very strategically right near the large intestine. They're in the ileum, the last section of the small intestine. So if you get any kind of overgrowth of bacteria from the large intestine going into the small intestine, these guys will take care of it. Okay, so these are Peyer's patches, and you can probably expect to find a slide like this on the practical, say, duodenum or ileum, and you see Peyer's patches, you know, right? The last part of the small intestine. I think there may just be one slide left. just colon. And small section of colon. And we'll focus it up. Put it on the next power so you can see the cells better. And the thing that's going to tell you that it's the colon are these, which are goblet cells making mucus, and more than any other part of what we've seen in terms of the slides we've looked at. So there's huge numbers of goblet cells, because that feces, really needs to be like surrounded by mucus to help it get out without like scratching you or something. So we're looking at what saves us from that kind of pain in terms of the defecation. Okay. So this is the large intestine, and if you see a slide like that, you see all those goblet cells, then you know. Okay, good.